Alright, YouTube, it's legit XX Gadget X Player here. Um, I know I don't have much of a variety on my channel just yet. I'm just starting to start. I don't really even have a fan base yet. I think I have 4 or 5 subscribers, and then I'll get people as, they just browse through YouTube getting bored and trolling. But I've decided to do a card of the week segment, which this will be week number 1. We'll do meta cards. Then once we run out of the basic meta cards, then we'll get into more of the really good tech cards, or the cards that aren't seeing as much play as they did last format, that have the surprise factor and the mind-fucking factor, and so on and so forth. We'll do one every week on Thursday. It'll be posted right around whenever I get to it. It should be on there Thursday, and then I'll also try to get 2 to 3 deck profiles a week of, meta decks, cool decks. I'll try to do a video every day. Like, I'll put up like a whole match every day or something of like the last weekend of locals, because I can get a lot of videos done there. I can probably get you like first place, local deck profile, whatever you want. Just comment down below what you'd like, because I do all this on my phone. But we'll get card of the week right now, and our first card of the week number 1 is going to be Maxi. Maxi is probably the most played card that's a monster besides Tour Guide right now and Thunder King, which I'm going to do all those cards too, explain them, even though they don't have much explanation, but there's more in-depth that is not really seen by just looking at the card and what it does. Where I do not have any Tour Guides, so I'm going to have to do that at like locals somewhere. I don't know where yet, because I got rid of my Tour Guides a while ago before they were like super expensive, and we had exceeds and whatnot. But here we go. So Maxi, he's a card that no matter what goes 1 for 1 as long as you play him just right where they special summon. You cannot do it to an inherited summon or a synchro summon, because they did not start a chain, and Maxi doesn't start his own chain in the first place. You have to do it before they attempt the synchro, or on something that does start a chain, like Reborn Tinku has its own chain. Glow Up Bulb and Sport do too, and then Lone Fire, and then so on and so forth. Monster Reborn, stuff like that. The crate cards, that guy play, the V-Ray starts one, and then you can go 1 for 1 there, and then they have to really think about how far they want to go. But Maxi's a card that also stops them and goes 1 for 1, so it's replacing itself and being a completely better. It's sort of like Threatening Roar, but it completely stops all their plays unless you draw a card too, which makes it go 1 for 1. It doesn't make it go -1 like Threatening Roar would. And then there's special ways to play it. If you play it, you can play it for. You can force the plus, like against Venus, depending on your opening hand. Like, let's say you open in a Thunder King Ryo against Venus. You're going to want to do it on the first one and stop their play. That way they can't go gotcha and have a Venus bigger than your only monster you can normal summon. If you have a card like Cyber Dragon, you can force the plus by doing it on the second Shine Ball, where they feel obligated to go gotcha, and then you can special summon Cyber Dragon, attack over Venus, and have yourself put in an advantage position. Other ways you can play it are, like, you can just drop it right in their draw phase. If you think they have Hyperion, Christie, or anything like that, like those cards that you can't change to because they're inherited as well, or BLS, and that's the only way they're going to win. If you drop this, if it's the only answer they can have to your field, it lets you get 1 card deeper. If not, you neg 1 and you win next turn, which isn't that bad. It's better than Effect Failure, obviously. And it's played in 2. It should be played in 2s to 3s in almost everything. Maybe exceptionally in like TGs and stuff, where their traps really make up for everything. Then it comes down to it takes a lot to play it. Like, I think that's the card that defines the skill part of the format, just in mirror matches and whatnot. And then it's also kind of expensive. It probably ranges from $55 to $60, depending on non-first ed, of course. And then, yeah, it's definitely worth paying and worth picking up. Like, it's a good answer to Tour Guide. Like, if they have Tour Guide, if you chain it to Tour Guide and you have Thunder King in your hand, they're going to keep the Sangan, there's certain things like that, and then you can summon Thunder King, catch Sangan, you put yourself in an advantage position again. Like, it's just a card that puts you ahead of your opponent, and but they also play it too, so you have to know how to play around it just right. You have to know when to stop and when to continue to go, because if you continue to go and you don't win that turn, they'll win the next turn, because they have so many cards in their hand that they can do everything. Alright, there's a couple perfect times to do it. I'll explain it against plants. Plants, the optimal time is 1-for-1 Dandelion or Debris Dragon and a Dandelion. This way you're going to plus, or they're going to have, well, no matter what, on 1-for-1 Dandelion, you're going to plus 1. But it obligates them to stop. If not, they're going to have to go and you're going to draw, I think, like 10 cards. The Breeze Dragon, you're drawing 1 no matter what. And then they're obligated to Synchro, which is forcing you a +2. For sure. And then, the best time against agents is usually the Venus. That's like the only time, so I usually don't like to keep in 3 against them unless I'm going second and they're going first. It's good against Rabbit game 1, Warden game 2, because a lot of them are switching to the Dimensional Fissure builds when they side him out and stuff. And then, Dark World, it's not the best thing either, like, because Grapha doesn't, I don't believe, starts a chain. So, like, you can really only hit Tour Guide, which isn't the best, so Maxi isn't really, like, strong there, but still, they can go off to the point it forces them just to stay where they are. So it does its job game 1, but it's not the best game 2 card against them. Then, what's another? TGs doesn't do so well against, I wouldn't say. It does really well against card craze. You have to know when to play it, since Kamachis and whatnot do not start a special summon, but, you know, if you do it right, then they're going to have to stop, and they have to attack, otherwise they have to Synchro, and you still plus there. Then, trying to think of a couple more metal decks here that you can kind of get the feel for it from. I guess GBs, like, you can plus off Darius, because he'll probably stop, though, so. Scrapped you can, because they'll go Scrap Chimera into Scrap Beast and Scrap Dragon, and you'll gain a card. The other reason it's kind of good against, like, really good against Dino Rabbit, if you can get it off, is because they go into Laggy and Dulk on stuff, and most of the time it takes multiple cards to get rid of those cards. So this way you're not, you know, wasting all your stuff to get rid of it. Like, you're not losing advantage from doing that. Maxi helps you gain the advantage to take it down and then still be, you know, in a good position, not where you're only down to 2 to 3 cards. Other than that, I'd say that Maxi is definitely a great choice in 2s and 3s. I'm personally a fan of 3 because I don't mind the card to clog, just because it's not bad to hold them, because once they think you played one, then you have the second one to play, and in a deck like mine that explodes, which is card tree, it just lets you completely just overwhelm them. Alright, well, this is card of the week, number 1. I will have more videos to come for sure. Comment, rate, subscribe, and request in the comment bar, like, cards you want to see. Like, I'll probably do Thunder King, Tour Guide, not so much Synchros, because Synchros have always been staple. I won't, like, do stuff like that. I'll probably do, like, maybe why to play triple MST, like D Prison, Mirror Force, Bottomless. Probably Effect Veiler, because that card keeps losing play, and that guy, Courtney Waller, won just because of Effect Veiler losing so much play in the game. BLS, maybe. Like, there's not much you can really explain about that. He's just really good, and then he's like a complete power card in himself. Trap does shoot, actually, because there's, like, all people really understand is it's good this format. They don't understand really why. Like, they don't understand the difference between this format and last format. But yeah, this is legit XX Gadget player. Legit XX Gadget X player signing out YouTube. Sorry, I cannot say my own YouTube name. I made it. Didn't make sense, and it's really hard to say. But yeah, signing out YouTube. Comment, rate, subscribe. I will post another video probably Saturday. Alright. Peace out.